We're going to read each student. Oh, that's right, we don't have mics. Forget about the mic. We're going to read each student's name off and the school they attend and ask the student to come up. I'll shake their hand, and Commissioner Davis will pass them the certificate, and Commissioner Campbell will shake their hand as well, and we will take photos afterwards. First with educators and then with family. So we'll begin, and I hope I pronounce this correctly. Artagnan, Scotland, Putnam Academy of Arts and Sciences, and tell me how to pronounce your name correctly, if you're here. Mr. Scotland? No, I guess not. Student of the month, Kylie Driggers, Penile Baptist Academy. Kylie. Student of the month, Mia Allen, Mosley Elementary. Student of the month, Eileen Thame, Kelly Smith Elementary. Congratulations. Did I mispronounce your name? Marvin King III, James A. Long Elementary. Kiara Fletcher, Children's Reading Center Charter School. Lainey Tilton, Browning Pierce Elementary. Tyrell Key, Putnam Classical Academy. Trayvon Watts, Mellon Learning Center, Pre-K.
Look at the camera.
Keep going down. Yeah. We'll give them back, too.
We promise we'll go back.
Caden Rogers, Mellon Learning Center.
All right.
Got it. Gracie Self, Mellon Learning Center. John Daniel Hampton, Mellon Learning Center, K through 12.
Congratulations.
Quite a handshake. Okay, we are going to take a group photo with teachers, educators, if you want. Oh, what? We missed somebody?
What's your name?
We're Prince. We're Prince.
Mr. Scotland.
There you go. That's you. Congratulations. Tyrell Key, I call him Tyrell Key here. Thank you. Educators. Yep, the teachers, educators, can come up, please. We'll try to organize everybody.
Now take one more. Take one more. Take one more.
Oh, no, you can't judge her next. You can judge her next.
And you're gonna move your picture, just the two of you too, with the mayor.
That's right.
Here you go.
Okay. Now we're going
You get your phone. Yeah, we have one.
to, the teachers, assistants, come down again, please. If you want to take a break, have this like one at a time.
Trayvon.
Checking out too.
I'm done taking this.
Come back
Marvin?
There we go. I love when they smile. Good smile, Mark. Big smile.
I think I'm taking pictures. It says send to.
Oh,
it on the camera. Okay, then you can stay. Oh, there you go. Congratulations.
Sir.
Kind of look similar, don't they? That's pretty cool.
Well, they did decide they didn't want to.
Mia?
Me? Yeah, that's her. You represent you're good.
Take a picture.
Yeah. Please. Everybody working out.
Yeah,
We got to watch the police out.
It's a pretty name. Trayvon?
You know what? We're gonna just let him hold his certificate otherwise. He can just hold his certificate. You got a Snapchat going on too. You got Snapchat.
No, it should be photo, like the photos. It should be like a little document.
Yeah, she took it.
Oh, no, it's as long as you took a picture.
Sir Joe.
Thank you. Yeah.
Special guest, special guest.
I'm saying I can take more than one.
No, I don't put it on there, I took the picture. Oh, thank you. Nice to meet you.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. That's a fact.
Oh, I gotta get that shit.
That's right. God bless you.
Ma'am, first of all, congratulations.
You know, if it's my fault that I don't read emails, I'm bad.
You did tell me that, but I did log her right to
Okay, so what now?
I said, you did tell me that. And I even offered to go to.
Oh, did you? Oh, Did you hear say something yet? Do I?
No, that's true.
All right, thank you so much. Okay. Who is it?
Well, it's not even on.
No, it's nice to meet you. It's the first time I've ever met you.
of February 2026 at 6 p.m. I'm calling this meeting to order, beginning with an invocation by Pastor Mulberry, Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Campbell. Please stand if you have read.
Let's pray. Father, again, thank you for allowing us to come together. We thank you for your goodness all day long. We thank you for how kind you've been towards us. We pray, God, that you will bless us continuously. We are blessed because of you, and we recognize and we acknowledge and we say thank you. Look on us now, God. Bless this meeting tonight. Let the wisdom of you be upon our heads, God, that we might do the things that will further cause for the city to move in the proper directions. We thank you again for each constituent. We pray the blessing upon them in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Join me in saluting our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Borum?
Present. Present. Is
The
it
mic's not working, so I don't have to speak loudly.
present?
Thank you. Will Jones?
Present.
Commissioner Jones? Commissioner Campbell?
President.
Commissioner Davis? Present. Mayor Carrera?
Present. Has everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes, January 22nd, 2026?
Motion to approve. Second.
The motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to public recognition presentations. I'm going to go down, well, I don't think it makes a difference, but we'll go down there and read the proclamation. Whereas African American History Month affords special opportunity to become more knowledgeable about African American heritage and to honor the many African American leaders who have contributed to the progress of our nation, and whereas such knowledge can strengthen the insight of all citizens regarding the issues of human rights, the great strides that have been made in the crusade to eliminate the barriers of equality for minority groups, and the continuing struggle against discrimination and poverty. Whereas the story of African Americans is a story of resilience and perseverance, and whereas it traces of people who refused to accept the circumstances under which they arrived on these shores, and it chronicles the generations who fought for an America that truly reflects the ideals enshrined in our founding documents, and whereas it is a narrative of African American slaves who shepherded others along the path to freedom, of preachers who spoke out against the rules of Jim Crow, of young African Americans who sat in at lunch counters, of ordinary men and women who took extraordinary risks to change our nation for the better, of African American women who were courageous visionaries and led the fight to end slavery, of tenacious activists who fought to expand basic civil rights to all Americans, of literary giants who gave voice to their communities, and of artists whose harmonies and brushstrokes captured hardship and aspirations. And whereas the achievements of African Americans are not limited to those recorded and retold in our history books, as their impact is felt in communities where they are quiet heroes who care for their families, in boardrooms where they are leaders of industry, in laboratories where they're discovering new technologies, and in classrooms where they are preparing the next generation for the world they will inherit. Now, therefore, I, Roberta Correa, Mayor of the City of Palatka, Florida, together with the members of the Palatka City Commission, do hereby endorse the month of February 2026 as African American History Month in the City of Palatka, and urge all citizens to join together in making this period as rededication to the principles of justice and equality for all people, and to pay tribute to the contributions of past generations and reaffirm our commitment to keeping the American dream alive for the next generation. Is there anybody here to accept? You all will please come up. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Here we go. Miss Margaret, would you like to say a few words before we take photos?
Okay. Good evening, Mayor Correa, members of the City Commission, and fellow community members. I am honored to accept this proclamation for Black History Month on behalf of Newtown Country Arts Center. This month marks the 100th year of Black History Month, a century of honoring Black brilliance, resistance, and the generations of organizing that have carried us to this month. Black History Month exists because history was once written in entire chapters missing, and because the mainstream narrative too often forgets that it was Black people who helped build this nation, the nation's wealth, defend its freedoms, advance its sciences, cultivates its land, and shapes its culture. It is not about separation, it is about restoration, recognition, and truth. When we honor the resilience, contributions, and leaderships of the people of African descent, we strengthen our shared future. With that said, I thank you for this recognition, the committee members for your efforts, and thank you again for this honor.
Thank you. Accepting your town museum and cultural center.
That's the same thing, it's on the same line.
Just want to make sure.
Mhm, that's fine.
Ms. Jones, City of Palatka New Hires. Sorry.
I don't know why it's not going to show.
Everybody, good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. Okay. So tonight we want to, it's not working, okay. Just recognize 4 new hires that we have that have actually been through the probationary period of 90 days or more. So we want to recognize them. A police officer, Mr. Paul Adams.
I know, but if I click it off, it's not going to happen, so. Sorry.
A water plant operator, Ms. Shannon Alford. Okay, recreation technician is Liliana Rodriguez.
I do, I don't know why. And then it won't come up, the last one's not going to come up.
Yeah.
It's just telling me I have to sign in.
Okay. Police officer. Johannes Vasco.
Commissioners, I would like to, after recognizing the new hires, if I may, there is an individual that received such outstanding comments from the community, and we just want to recognize that employee. So Ed, Shannon, Marie, nothing? It was just so many different comments that came in. We also have others that we're starting to get a lot of very good comments for our employees and the work they're doing. Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Ed Chandler, sanitation superintendent. Ms. Carter informed us that she wanted us to recognize Mr. Anthony Napier for all the fine work he's been doing on the job and around, all the special events we're having here in the city on the weekends and everything. And I would like to say that, he does go above and beyond, doing things, and that's what we want, to enhance things here in the city of Palatka. And I would like for him to come up.
I really don't know what to say, but, we all work together, we all, I know I'm in sanitation department, but I like to help out in streets, community affairs, whatever they have, and I just try to do what I can do to make the city better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Handle?
I can testify to Mr. Napier. Mr. Napier was actually drove us in the Christmas parade, but no matter what event it is, he's always there with a smiling face and making sure that we are okay. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. I know we've had several conversations about some of the things that you have concerns about and some of the things that you're happy to see, and I promise you I have not forgotten about those, and I'll make sure that they got to the ears of people that need to hear. Appreciate it.
Ditto. Mr. Napier has exceeded all expectations, I believe, in his department. As Commissioner Kelly just spoke of the Christmas parade, not only the Christmas parade, after the Christmas parade, physically going down, cleaning up debris. I saw him doing that. I don't know if that's in the job description or not, but I know he also drives the garbage truck. In lieu of the street sweeper not working, I think they physically went down with a crew, and he was leading that crew. He made sure that we were all taken care of the night of the Christmas parade, all the commissioners. And just more recently, an event that the city actually didn't put on, which was the MLK Day March. Mr. Napier was the first person that received the guests. He actually got equipment out, chairs, tables, whatever it was. He didn't just get it out. He was helping the people unload their vehicles, trucks, or whatever they were doing. And during the event, after we walked and we were enjoying the event, Mr. Napier was picking up trash. And it's just a lot that I have seen, employees doing the bare minimum, but I have also seen people exceed expectations. And I one was a commissioner that called. I don't know who else called, but I wanted this person to be recognized because some of the stuff he didn't have to do, and I know he was doing it really out of the goodness of his heart because he take his work seriously. And I've seen him on other events as well with the parks. So I just want to personally say thank you for what you do. Keep doing what you do. Lead by example.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I have to speak about Mr. Napier. I agree with what the other commissioners said, but I did a site visit to their department, and I can tell you Mr. Napier goes above and beyond. He organizes their area, and no one has to do that. But what especially stands out to me is that when I was in my new hire class as a new commissioner, he was as well. So we're saying all of this, and this has all happened within a year. And I just want to commend you. You are definitely a step above. I appreciate your professionalism and the way you work with excellence, and it's an example. It is not unnoticed. And I want to personally say thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, I also had the pleasure to speak with Ms. Napier and work with him on a couple of things, but I concur with everything else that other commissioners have already communicated. But he also, we already know that he goes above and beyond, but he makes sacrifices for his co-workers. I mean, I've had a conversation with him as it relates to even recognizing the work that the sanitation department does throughout their only job day to day to help make this city look what it looks like from an image standpoint. The other key point was the fact that we talked about insurance for the city as it relates to that. So he's looking out for his co-workers as it relates to the amount of money that these individuals receive and the cost of insurance and what, by the time taxes and everything else come out of their monies, if you got family members on the insurance, you get very little back as it relates to all the other taxes and everything that come out. So I've had an opportunity to speak with him after he spoke with me that first time. I did put the one thing in place, and they did recognize for the first time for the Public Works Department was able to be able to get somebody to be the employee of the month. So those are the kind of things that we need to continue to do. You're a blazing example of what good looks like. So continue to keep doing good work. Thanks, sir.
And I would absolutely echo everybody else's sentiments, and I know we were out picking trash the day after the Christmas parade together and had some good conversation, and I admire your dedication to the job and to the city. Thank you so much for everything.
Can you take the picture?
Before we go on to number 4, is there any need or interest in modifying the agenda in any way? Does anybody want to make a motion to modify the meeting or postpone a particular item on the agenda?
I want to take in consideration the legislative update, being that we are having some complications. I'm not sure if it would be.
We would have to pull it because they cannot come on Zoom, I was gonna say. Thank you.
With regards to that, what we'll be able to get, I know our attorney has been phenomenal with giving us, providing us with updates from the Hill, so will she be able to give us an update from that
Right
perspective?
now, yes, she can. Yeah. There's one more thing though, we were looking at under regular business. I think that direction discussion for the policy, correct? Yes. So when we put the policy on here, it's just for discussion. We were thinking of pulling it. Wanted feedback from that. We're going to pull that policy.
I think it's worth a conversation. I'm interested in knowing how it came about.
Okay.
So I don't think it needs to be completely new.
All right. So our understanding as staff is that anytime we have policies that,
Will,
we'll talk about it later. Thank you.
Before we get to that, is there anything else?
No.
So, did you want me to give just a very brief
just
update?
how you know.
Absolutely. So we're at the midpoint of the legislative session. A lot of bills have already moved forward, especially with respect to property taxes. They are flying through both chambers of the House and Senate. So we can fully expect to see something on the ballot November 2026, where the voters are going to get an opportunity to vote on some of those measures. I think that's probably some of the biggest stuff that we need to be cognizant of because it's going to have a significant fiscal impact on the city, especially HB 103 has passed, and that was where you had the homestead exemption bumping up to $200,000. So that's something you need to keep an eye on. The cyber immunity bills, which will also have a significant impact on our budget, have also been moving. The glitch bill that we were hoping to see a fix on for last year's Senate Bill 180, unfortunately is not progressing as robustly as we would like. This has an immediate effect on the city of Palatka because we just heard back from the Department of Commerce that all of the work that we have done over the last 2 years updating our comprehensive plan amendments have been rejected null and void ab initio as a result of SB 180 from last year. We were hoping that there would be a legislative fix. We're going to look at other options, including having a face-to-face meeting with the folks over at the Department of Commerce. If there are any specific bills, I can tell you the ones that are impacting Putnam County directly. The tributaries of the St. Johns River had its last committee stop earlier today. It's moving forward. That's obviously a very controversial bill here. Are there any particular bills? Okay, thank you.
That was very good.
Yes, I would like, in regards to the bill to eliminate the taxes, property taxes. Yes, and we were able to get some great information during our legislative action day visits. And we would, I think Ms. Cardi, we talked about putting out some information for our community to really understand what that means.
Yes.
Because on the surface, it's not just what it sounds like. So look for some upcoming information, because we want to make sure all of our communities have the information needed to make an informed decision, and understand how you may be impacted, I may be impacted, and our whole city could be impacted. So look for that in the new bill. Thank you.
Thank you. And interconnectivity team Palatka?
Yes, I would like that we had a meeting with one of our commissioners. It was an excellent presentation, so I would like all of us to express that. Commissioner Davis.
So I'm gonna, just a brief overview. So in speaking with Ms. Cardi, and just to clarify, not a meeting.
Right.
It was
Yes.
a pre-meeting,
Exactly.
it was just a presentation.
Right.
Ms. Cardi mentioned that our staff is Team Palatka. So one of the things I asked is if I could present and understand, to clarify how we all work together with interconnectivity. So first of all, thank you, Ms. Cardi, for letting me do that.
Yes.
And talking briefly about how we all connect neighbors, communities, constituents, and our city as a whole. But basically, who is Team Palatka? It's the commission. We are Team Palatka. The city manager, who is the operational manager. And as you know, the commission establishes vision and policy. We adopt ordinances and resolutions. And we represent the community's priorities and values. The other critical pieces of Team Palatka is our city attorney, who provides legal counsel to the commission and the manager and ensures that actions comply with laws and ethics. Our city clerk, who is our official record keeper. Our public information officer, who coordinates the accurate information and hopefully gets information out and helps manage issues before they escalate. And of course, our city staff, who is the face of the city. We are all Team Palatka. One of the things I wanted to stress to and remind leadership is because of the Sunshine Law, when we, the commissioners, are in these public meetings, it's the only time we have to discuss items that they bring before us. And so just stressing the importance of providing clear, concise information, coming with recommendations based on their expertise so that we can in turn make the best decision for our city. And basically, we're all interconnected. The staff work informs the city manager informs and advises the commission makes decisions that guide the staff's priorities, and at the end of the day, it's our residents who experience the result of our alignment. So what I just wanted to stress to them is that every role matters. No one is more important than the other. All departments are critical and important. Empowered individuals create strong teams. Clear roles and transparency builds public trust, and together we serve Palatka with excellence. So we are all Team Palatka. So thank you, Ms. Carter, for allowing me to speak to your leadership team. Thank you.
Thank you as well. So that was the whole idea, to put all of us in understanding of how valuable we all are. And together we make this city work. It's not one set of persons. It's not just the staff. It's not just leadership. We get our direction from our commissioners, And then the commissioners themselves are listening to our residents. So that was the idea. Thank you.
Emergency weather shelter update.
Mr. Cartwright, would you come up, please?
Eddie Cartwright, Community Affairs. It doesn't work?
No, sir.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Eddie Cartwright, Community Affairs. The week of January 26th, Palatka was hit with a cold front. Through meetings with the mayor and the city manager and the team that we put together, we came up with a plan to try to house some people throughout the night to kind of get them out of the cold. It was a 5-day event. He started on January 28th. That night we had about 8, I got the exact number, we had 6 that came through. The staff that was there was compiled of 1 police officer, 1 community affairs staff, and 1 volunteer, broken down in a 12-hour period, so we had 2 6-hour shifts. The community came together, we donated cots and stuff and everything, and food. The mayor brought some coffee, we had a couple of churches bring some chili, so it was a great team effort. It lasted throughout the following week to Tuesday morning. We had a couple of minimum issues, but overall, I think it was a great success. We put a plan together as soon as we could. It's some things we need to work on, but at the end of the day, I think it was a success. Now, I would like to say that I want to rotate it around the community, not just the Jenkins, but Jenkins is probably the best facility as of right now to accommodate that situation. And I can go on to break down, but if you have any certain questions that you want to know about how it went, or any issues or concerns, or staff hours, just tell me and I'll get that.
I just want to say, I just want to commend staff for hopping in, and I know there was a lot of miscommunication with regards to some of the communication that was put out via the community, not so much from our end, but it always goes back to making sure that we are at the forefront of telling our story, because even with the first freeze and when we had the partnership out at SMA, city had a part of that as well, and it was not adequately communicated. So it appeared as if we were sitting back, sitting idle, waiting for some things to happen, and that was definitely not the case. So again, I commend you all for the second round of making sure that your presence was a lot more visible in our efforts to make sure that we had adequate shelter for the unhoused during those cold fronts. So again, I want to personally say thank you.
I also do want to, it was a collaboration with the county, the cots came from the county, want to acknowledge that as we
Yes.
continue to try to move forward in partnership with the county to meet the needs of our community.
And since y'all want to commend the staff for what they have done during that over the time frame to help with the unhoused. But what I would like to make a recommendation is to not have to get the commission involved with stuff like that. We know that these things happen. There should be an emergency weather response team, not the reaction team. When we know when these events are coming, so we need to be prepared. Have these things are no different than evacuation plans or anything else. We have cold weather every year. We should not have to keep asking the commission to, should we do or should we not? When the event occurs, we prepare way in advance and we make these things happen and just, we put these things in place. And so I would like to at least ask the commission, let's put this in place so that they don't have to ask us to, when having this event, it meets the condition, automatically make it happen and have the response team do it.
I was gonna, if I may, as a result of what we did experience, we have now prepared SOP. So that is prepared now, and we are doing exactly what you said. We've identified the players to be the response team, just as you're saying. Just started.
Yes, I'd like to thank everyone who, for their efforts in servicing our unhoused population during the cold weather.
In to Commissioner Borum's point as well, I'd like to, for us to look at where we got the players, but let's look at location. I believe I went out one night and there is some concern because we had a population of citizens in our area with offices and potentially access. So I would just like to recommend finding a location that is suitable. I'll be honest, when I heard Jenkins, I really thought that we were looking to get with the school board on who owns the classrooms, because there are some vacant classrooms there where I think we could use to accommodate. But as you're working on that SOP and you're looking at locations, could you look at some viable options as well? Where we have places that could be used.
And just for the record, I did contact Superintendent Cersei about the rest of the property, and there are a couple of other entities, government entities in the ARC that are using it. So basically, and I asked for any other location, and basically, I was told that would be used. So I did try.
And that's okay. So now proactively, maybe we can establish some type of relationship and understanding, not necessarily for there, but for appropriate location. The other thing I'd like to say is, you know, there is a misnomer with cold weather, temporary cold weather shelters, and there's criteria that has to be met. And I know when we get the feedback, I believe Commissioner Campbell mentions this all the time, and people sometimes don't understand what we have to meet, what criteria we have to meet in order to establish these types of places. And it's based on a specific degree in the temperature, and it has to be checked daily. So we can't say, even though the forecast is, 20 degrees for 3 days, we have to wait until that day to see what the actual forecast is going to be. And so we're looking at that, and again, as we're looking at a proactive approach, we'll continue educating our community as well. Yes. So the desire is there, the heart is there, but so are the regulations. So we are working as best we can around those regulations.
And the truth of the matter is that municipality government are not going to do this. So there is a strong effort in the community to develop another location for more long-term shelter and wraparound services, as well as the cold weather sheltering. We need to be partners and support that, but we don't need to be at the forefront when we need it. And I think that would be key going on.
So, Mayor, if I may, I was going to introduce this at another point, but since we're talking about shelters and our in-house population, I am a board member of the COC, Continuum of Care, and I had the opportunity to attend the strategic planning session on Tuesday of this week and learned a lot. One of the major things I learned is that our county has a lot of resources already in place. Unfortunately, I think they're a little disjointed, and now that I understand better as being a board member, I'm going to work diligently to reach out to these places. These are companies or organizations who get money from the COC, which is funded by HUD. So Grace Marketplace, Family Promise, Catholic Charities, and the Lee Conley House. Grace Marketplace, Family Promise, and Catholic Charities have funding to provide services such as street outreach, rapid rehousing, homeless prevention. So they are to provide those services. One of the things I notified the board is I see a disconnect between the funds that are coming to these organizations and the work that's actually happening in our county. So at this point, I do want to say, now that we're aware, we will, I will personally reach out through the COC to make sure we get monthly reports of what they're doing in our community, how they're servicing us, and what the outcomes are. I would also like to say, of those, some of the persons who came to the shelter, I believe from all of them, from SMA and our efforts, I believe 5 persons, and one is a couple, have been placed in places. They're off the street now. One was a young lady who's pregnant, we were able to get her services. And even now today, I found out that we were able to get a couple into an apartment funded by COC. So there are resources. We now know what those resources are. We will be holding them accountable and getting reports and making sure they're doing what they're receiving the resources to do in our community. So, thank you.
Anybody else?
Just wanted to say, thank you for the efforts as well. I want to say a special thanks to Ms. Carty because we were up in Tallahassee and she was in training, taking time out to actually make sure things were coordinated here. So on the administrative end, I want to give you kudos for that, being able to juggle the responsibilities, and you did a good job. I also agree with the mayor as far as a different location. Ms. Cartwright already spoke on this. Because Jenkins is a place that houses children activities and juveniles are housed there, along with RMCA is also a neighboring facility. So I know that Price Martin, one of the things that we're doing there is hardening that facility, which is in the center of town, would be found a lot more easier than Jenkins for warming shelter or cooling space, not so much overnight. And we know what we do now to get it deemed overnight by, as you're in a state of emergency, by the county. The city can't do that. So those are things that we learned from this. And so with your after action meetings that you guys have,
Yes.
I do think that's under your realm that we do, but we definitely appreciate what you did during that time. You too, Mr. Cutright, and your management. And I also went out, was called, and so I actually looked at the shelter and looked how we ran it during those times, and I think we did a pretty good job. And again, thank you guys for all the hard work you put in. And that's all the agencies that actually
Yes,
helped.
thank
So,
you.
thank you.
City manager report?
Yes, I wanted to address the fact that the sound system will be fixed tomorrow. It's, I don't know how to explain it as well, but yes, sir.
Based on the email that we received, I think it's almost purposeless to invest in this current sound system if they've stated that it is quite outdated. So I would make the recommendation, as we try to progress with modern technology, that we take in consideration looking at a system that will serve us for the years to come,
Yes.
instead of putting money into a system that is obsolete.
We did talk about a system that mirrors the county system.
Right, that's what we're looking at
And
now.
I thought our IT is supposed to collaborate with
Yes.
them and implement that system as far as the microphones and
How you push the recognition.
Right.
So that's what we're moving to, right?
I just feel like when I read the email and just heard that he said it was quite outdated, and for us to invest into this kind of system, it serves no purpose if we can get something that will live for the, years to come. So that would be my recommendation.
Thank you.
I think it's my recollection that we just got this system correct.
I was gonna ask Ms. Karen to explain it a little bit better. Ms. Karen, what is the portion that's outdated? It's just that little part in it, right?
It's the amplifier
It's
that's
just
out,
the amplifier.
but we had to change, we found out the amp was out after we changed,
The
when
whole new
Chantel
system.
got right into the system behind there. And, we actually changed out a couple of wires. We went to Staples and bought new wiring for it. Thank God it wasn't expensive, but it's little stuff like that that just keeps going out and we have no idea when it's gonna go. So yesterday and the day before, last week,
Right.
we spent a lot of time with David. He was sick, so he was FaceTiming, so it was tough. And now he's better, and he said he would be in tomorrow or Monday to look at the system. But I agree with you, I think we should just go with the whole new system.
But this
That
is
like the
relatively
county
new.
says
We
about
got
We
the
have
visual,
here.
we didn't get a full sound system, we got the visual presentation.
Yeah.
Get a full new system.
We didn't get a full new system. We got a new camera. We did purchase an updated camera. Like you said, Commissioner Borum,
Yes.
it was an updated system that we were supposed to get, but it wasn't coordinating with what we already had without purchasing a whole brand new system. So that's why the camera that is supposed to move on its own doesn't work because it's not an updated system.
Can we do a full assessment as it relates to what do we have, what's new, and what would be needed, and then understand and know what should we scrap it, or should we just replace certain components before we just say, because we don't know where we are right now as it relates to the full scope of the system. So let's just look at what we currently have, assess that, the life cycle of those components, and scrapping it and putting a whole new system in, and let's see what it looks like and cost. You gotta look at, overall cost associated, total
Okay,
cost.
so when he comes in either tomorrow or Monday, I will have him do a full assessment, if that's okay, and I can get it to y'all.
Yeah.
And Mayor, go ahead, go ahead. Ms. Carter, let me be clear. We have an IT resource.
Yes. Yes.
And when we're saying, he'll look at it, but will this be in conjunction with the contractor? Is that who you're referring to? Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to David,
Who is?
who is from Ocala Electric, who does the
Right.
system.
Right.
And our IT employee,
He's not, our IT
Help me.
contractor, he has now been interacting with David.
okay,
So now we do have the liaison.
okay, right,
Okay, and then we're taking the fact that Karen is the actual user.
yes.
So,
Okay.
as explained, we did get some new parts, but we did not do a new amplifier.
And I'm okay with that. My point is, when we're assessing this system, please make sure everyone who needs to be involved is involved. Because what I hear are two different things. We're asking for a system here, so we can be recognized, we can be heard. But now that we are streaming outside of here, that may be a separate system. So we do need something that, even if we have to get a new component, we just need to make sure they connect, but have someone look at an entire solution, understand what we have, what we can use, or how we can move forward, whether it's an entire new system for both components or what. So just a comprehensive review.
Okay, yes,
And
ma'am.
recommendation.
Will do. Thank you so much for the recommendation. And moving forward with the city manager report, I'll be very, very quick. Floating dock update, Public Works and County have been working diligently since September 2025. We've ordered the parts now. We do have the approval. We expect completion, next page, April 2026. We've been keeping both the county administration and chamber informed of our progress because of all of the festivals and events. Legislative update, from the perspective of the city going over to Tallahassee, attending the Rural County Day. We met with other municipalities, Senator Corey Simon, who was pretty much on top of the rural renaissance and so forth. So we're trying to make certain that we get a part of that $217.9 million. January 26th to 28th, we did attend the Florida Legislative Action Day, and we met with the representatives, SAP, League, and other lawmakers, and also Florida League President Harley Smith. Next page, please. Recruitment of critical positions, just let you be informed that we have now started receiving applications. We will start planning interviews for a human resource director. We have assistant city manager. We're at the finishing point of the commission legislative aid. I noticed today we got more applications on public works engineer, and we may be talking about general service director as opposed to assistant city manager. So those are some things we're looking at. The next item is DOGE. How do you say it? DOGE, thank you, and Finance Department restructuring. So we've been looking at just our finances over the past 10 years, and our budget has increased 242%. So that's significant. The budget has increased over 10 years, 242%. Our approved budgets have grown by 200%. Workforce has increased by 29%. Payroll costs have rose by 80%. We have 60 budget projects, 40 grant funded, and 20 that are city funded. And the reason why I'm sharing those statistics, because I do want us to have an appreciation for the growth of the city over the past 10 years, and more specifically, next one, please, Karen. Specifically, one guy over the past 5 years. So the finance director responded to Trump's initiative through the state of Florida. Population from fiscal year 2021 has only grown by 500. So we've grown officially from 10,556 to 10,985. So, however, revenues have grown, expenditures have grown much more than revenues, because a good portion of that are grant expenditures, and we're now starting to receive the reimbursements as well. So the final takeaway or thoughts for Commissioner's consideration is exactly what I said. Revenues have increased by not a lot over the past 5 years, only $1 million, but they are going to increase in this fiscal year that's finishing up because of the grant revenues. Budget have increased. Finance department responsibilities have increased in complexity and volume. And so at this stage of the game, as city manager, I'm encouraging stringency, that we're careful in our movements, that we don't move quickly, you know, that we monitor everything that we do and try to maximize the use of our existing staff. So I will be bringing that back to you, reducing some things in order, some areas, or I'm looking at making sure that we stay fiscally sound. That's my goal. Thank you.
I want to make sure as we move forward, and I heard you state with regards to the assistant city manager, as well as utilizing the general services director, and we speak often about direction that is given from the dais. So I would like for that to be a part of an agenda item that we talk about, and that we finally put to rest, if that be the will of the commission to change that, because previous direction was to advertise and hire a assistant city manager.
Yes.
If you are looking at presenting something different to us, we ask that you go ahead and get that done by preference, the next meeting, so that we, the commission, would be able to go forth one way or another and kind of put this to rest, because we have been kicking this can down the road for quite some time now. And I want to make sure that whatever road we decide to go with, that we move forward with it, because again, we have applications that are for a city manager, assistant city manager, and if we're not looking to have an assistant city manager, let's do something different.
Thank you.
I agree, and I would also like to hear the rationale for one position versus another.
Right,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
go ahead.
Two things. I'd like to go back to the legislative update. First, I'd like to give kudos to Ms. Cardi during the legislative session, because we had very good interaction with our representatives in Tallahassee. They went very well, certainly narrowing down our legislative priorities, and we're being very clear. They are in sort of, I'm going to use the language, different buckets for consideration, so we're not stepping on, you know, each other or trying to drain one area, but very well received. We got great feedback. To that point, and I hope, Ms. Cardi, when we come back with what we just discussed regarding the position, you can give us your rationale as well in more detail. But part of the discussion that came out of that is considering DOGE was looking at what we've been asking for how long, the operational
Audit. Yes, I can
the
talk to
operational
that.
audit. But
Yes.
my point is, I do think there are some things we may have to reconsider based on our visit to Tallahassee. And Ms. Carty, please, come back with that sooner rather than later, to Commissioner Campbell's point, so that we can really discuss that with the information we need and why the change in direction. But we were very well received. I felt really, really good, very positive interaction, and I'll let other commissioners who were there speak to it if they need to. I felt very Palatka and Putnam proud in Tallahassee this time. So it went very, very well, and kudos to Ms. Carty, who did an excellent job representing us as our city manager. So I think the growth and understanding more the role and expectations and how to operate in those areas is really showing. So thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
It's very kind. Go ahead, Commissioner Brown.
I'm going to share those same things Commissioner Davis did, but just to be mindful that we do have something going to be before us as it relates to your budgets going forward. There's some legislation out there that says that you will not be able to increase your budget by 1 penny over the rollback rate. So going forward, what that means is that you're going to have to explain to Tallahassee what that increase means, or what does it look like. So there won't be no increase in the millage rate because of you just want to do it. So it's going to be some serious things coming down the pipe as it relates to that legislation. So I just want to throw that out there.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Are you finished?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm done.
I'm going to open the floor to public comments. Public comments are for 3 minutes. Please give your name and city, town, and residence, and fill out a yellow comment if you have none already. Ms. Kitchen?
Allegra Kitchens, Palatka, Florida. I'd like to educate you all, I don't think I need to educate you, but the public on property tax. I worked for the property appraiser's office for 36 years, and we worked with the tax collector's office. I was 9 years on the city commission. Nobody wants to pay property tax. Everybody says, oh, well, my neighbor's paying more than me, it's unfair. It's not unfair. Let me explain something to everybody. Governments run on tax money. Governments provide services that you want from your tax money. If governments don't have tax money, or the tax money is lessened, government still has to run, and the citizens still want the services. So that money's coming from somewhere. Guess where it's coming from? It will come from fees. Millage is capped by the Florida legislature at 10 mills. If any entity wants to exceed 10 mills, you have to get 2/3 of the Florida legislature to approve you exceeding 10 mills. Fees have no cap. Fine example is our City of Palatka fire tax. I'll call it a tax, not a fee, but it's a fee. If the taxes, property taxes, get reduced or got rid of, the city will have to put fees on citizens. There will be no cap on the fees. And fees are bad news. Why? They bypass all exemptions. Total and permanently disabled veterans, homestead, wholly exempt, charity, all gone, and you pay the fee or you lose your property. Bottom line, fees will hurt people. Taxpayers need to understand, while nobody likes to pay taxes, everybody wants the services that taxes provide. We need to vote against removing property tax. It's going to hurt the people that need it the most. The homeowners are going to be hurt. Why? Because homestead will be gone. We can't pay the fees. We'll lose our homes. Customers will be hurt. Why? Because merchants will have to increase the cost to us, the consumer cost, to make up for the fees. We won't be able to pay them. Everybody gets hurt. It's win-win. It's pie in the sky, and it sounds great, like saying we'll put a chicken in everybody's pot during World War II. Doesn't work. Taxes are good. They're the best, the most fair way to get money. If you can afford the mortgage payment and you can afford the insurance on the property, you can afford the property tax. It's based on what your property is worth. Again, the taxes go away, fees will come in, and fees are a death sentence to a person, period. Thank you.
Mayor, I've received information from the public that is streaming. If you do have your mics on, they can actually hear better. So we may not be able to hear them, but the public can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Sam Deputy?
Evening. Put the speaker on. Put the speaker on. Okay, so, okay.
Sam Deputy, 623 St. John's Avenue. I'm here to speak about the sidewalk project downtown. As you know, this has been an 8-year odyssey that our downtown businesses have been through. Those that are now involved in working that from the city weren't here at the beginning. And we've had our struggles with this project. As you know, it was supposed to be done within 2 years, which would have been pre-COVID, and we're still working on the project now. We just had a meeting January 6th with the merchants. We gave them, they gave us all the information. The city was there. Thank you, Ms. Carty. You were wonderful that night, and we appreciate that. We held it at the mayor's business. Thank you so much for that. And then the week after, Amanda, Miss Amanda from the City Streets Department did a fantastic schedule of block by block so that we knew when we were to be affected. Although when any block on St. John's Avenue is down, we're all down because people just avoid the area as for construction. And so we've been working on it. Well, long and short, last week the state came in to look at some contamination at the end of my block, but what they did with their permit is they blocked my whole block. From end to end, we had no sidewalk. So for 2 days, I did $6. I'm not in business to do $6, but you couldn't get to me. No notice, no information. Mr. Joe and Miss Amanda are working on changing our city policy so that we are to be notified and not just blocked off. But that's how serious this sidewalk project will be to the downtown businesses. But imagine my surprise when this week, working with Ms. Carty, thank you again, Mr. Joe, Miss Amanda, everything's set. We've got the schedule. We know block by block when we're going to be down, and it's down for 5 to 6 weeks per block. So you can imagine what a hit we're taking. Then today I go online to get the agenda for tonight, and I see an icon for streetscape on the city website. And I pull it up, and the schedule is not the schedule that the city gave us, that I copied and gave to 100 other businesses door by door so that we were all on the same page. And then in my calls, I find out that there's a meeting tomorrow where the schedule might change again. Businesses are not going to survive this kind of treatment. We've got to have clear, consistent communication, and not the day before. I had staff there for $6. I should have closed and gone on vacation. Anyway, I am pushing for better communication with our contractors and a stricter penalty clause if not.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here for public comment? Seeing none, I'll close public comment.
Mayor.
I'm sorry, is there somebody here? Oh, come on up, Pastor Mulberry.
Thank you. Just wanted to make an observation, not a comment, but we're doing a public call for all men, fathers who are interested in meeting with us on this coming Monday at the location at 6:30 p.m. The call is for the future of our sons. We just want to have a roundtable discussion with those that are interested in sharing ideas that are implementable for moving forward for the, I would say, the help for our sons. We're calling men. It's not a meeting of criticizing anyone, but to just gather some information from the public's men in the city, and to we have a program that we're going to share more about on this coming Monday that we shared a few years ago that was really impactful. So I think it'll be to the advantage of those fathers that were interested to come out and hear ye the words. Thank you.
Location, Pastor Mulberry, where is it going to be?
Location, please.
820 North 11th Street,
Thank you.
Palatka, Florida.
What organization is this, Mr. Moyer?
This is a call for men. I'm just sponsoring a call for fathers in the community to come together and to share ideas to try and implement some programs. I mentor schools in the public school system, about 4 or 5 schools, and we have some leaders from the school that will be coming. DJJ will be coming, and some others that will be coming to help us, to try to help our young sons.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The date is this Monday,
Any
which
questions? I'm sorry.
is the 16th.
Monday, yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Questions?
No, he asked
Not the date.
the date, and we gave the date to
Thank you.
him.
That's all I need.
I think, I think we're all set.
I was just asking for the date she gave it to me.
And it's the 16th.
That's Monday, the 16th, 6:30.
Thank you.
What organization again, please?
You just said that it's not one.
It's not really one.
When you say help us, I like who
Okay,
is us, so that's
it's,
what I was
it's a
asking.
group of men that are coming together to try and solve some of our atrocities that we face in our community.
Thank you.
Thank you. And anybody, no, I think we're all set, Pastor Mulberry, thank you. Anybody else here for public comments? Seeing none, I'm closing public comments.
Do we need to respond to Mr. Deputy, or just? I thought we were supposed to
That's up to
respond.
you, if you feel you want to
I would
respond.
like to,
And go ahead, and just for clarification, the drilling that he was referencing was a
like to.
different
Yes,
situation.
please, because I think it's important that the community understand why the delay occurred and the fact that it was beyond our control. Matt, are you able to address, or, come on?
No.
I
No.
mean, all right, no problem. If, our new project manager, he has not been here 90 days, which is why he was not on the new hire section. He's only been here 2 weeks. Yes, and could you go ahead and give us the update real quick?
Give us your name first, please, David, and
also
welcome.
put it to your mic. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear
You-
well.
Give us your name,
My name's
please.
David Bumgarner. I'm the project manager for Palatka. I've spoken with everybody. We've got everything finally on track with this job. We're having a pre-construction meeting tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. with me and Joe and everybody else, including the FDOT. FDOT is what has held this up because they have to be in attendance of the pre-construction meeting.
Exactly.
To the best of my understanding, if everything goes correctly tomorrow, we will begin on Monday.
Thank you.
May I ask a question with reference to how is it, and going back to the statement that Amanda put together a timeline, how is a timeline being disseminated to businesses if this meeting has to occur and there's a possibility of change?
I do not know that answer.
Right.
So I would make the no, they're not gonna let you. I would make the recommendation that as we move forward and we see that these things may be potentially changed, that we, the city, don't put ourselves in a position to put something out that has the potential to change completely based on a meeting that has to happen prior to, with individuals from DOT that has to be there. So I would make that recommendation that we do not put ourselves in that position again, because it does look, how they used to say, the very appearance of something.
Right.
And that's what we're looking at, the very appearance of something that we're trying to make it look one way, and it may not even go that way at all. So I don't want to put us in that position.
Yes, sir. We have really learned from this experience, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Borum?
Right, and to piggyback on that same conversation, I think it would be really prudent that our public information officer put out the stuff, anything that goes out from the city you have one form of communication that's consistent. It should come through our PIO, who is, we paying for that position.
Yes.
We need that position to be putting out the information that as it relates to special, like projects that we're having now, the major projects, among other things. So that's just my suggestion.
Thank you.
Anything
She
else?
will release it tomorrow after this meeting.
Okay, thank you. On to the consent agenda. Are there any items to be pulled from the consent agenda? Commissioner Davis? Anything? Commissioner Barr?
No.
Commissioner Jones? No. Commissioner Campbell?
Nothing, Mayor.
Okay, with
Hearing
somebody,
that, I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as printed.
we have a second, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, no opposition. On to regular business. Discussion, direction, staff, elected officials, relations policy. Ms. Cotty and Ms. Jones.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, the policy that you have before you, the staff elected officials relation policy, was created and was written because the city of Palatka currently does not have a formal policy outlining the appropriate interactions between city staff and elected officials. This proposed policy is going to establish clear expectations, roles, and the standards of conduct to promote professional, respectful, and effective working relationships. The policy also identifies procedures and potential disciplinary actions in the event of noncompliance. The purpose of this policy is intended to preserve the city manager's administrative authority, promote transparency and accountability in communications, reduce legal, operation, and personnel risk, and maintain a respectful and effective workplace. There are a lot of different items in here. One in particular that we didn't have anything on, which was email communication and the use of blind BCCing on emails. We did, and I think one of you were interested in how this came about for staff to BCC commissioners. We have no idea when a staff is overlooking their manager, going directly BCCing commissions with concerns that they may have, and their manager, city manager, or whatever manager, has no idea that there is an issue. And they're BCCing the commissions. On some instances, we get feedback, HR will get a notification that I received this, and other commissioners may get BCCs that they don't notify. May not get communication back. But in any event, the policy still outlines, because we do understand that there are situations and individuals that need to BCC and communicate with all the commissions, legal, as well as the sheriff's department with things. So but the expectation is they copy the city manager so that the city manager is still aware of what's going on. So, and in that instance, we've had oversights and BCCing. So I think having a policy in place so that our staff understands how to relate to our elected officials, and our elected officials also have guidelines on how to relate, not undermining the status and administrative responsibility of our city manager. So the policy is not for adoption tonight, but an opportunity for you all to review it, and then we will bring it back after it's reviewed. If you have any recommendations or changes or things that you do not feel are necessary in here, then you can relay that. We'll make the necessary changes and bring it back to the commission for adoption.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions of Ms. Jones?
I have a question and a statement. Who came up with this policy?
I'm sorry?
Who came up with this policy?
The staff elected officials? I did.
Okay, so it's usually something that prompts a policy change, and I realize what you just said. So you talk about transparency on one end, that means everything's out and open. Secondly, we just had a situation that involved employees, management, directors, what have you, that we were kind of like figuring our way through it. If we move forward with this type of policy and the restrictions where employees cannot talk to an elected official, which I want to remind everybody that our staff, they're constituents as well. They're voters, and they put us in office.
Yes, sir.
So if we can't talk to them, or they can't talk to us, and be transparent with what information that they bring forward, a lot of times, that information that they may have never gets to us, and we're blindsided by stuff. And that's when it looked as we've been called before dysfunctional, when we don't know what's going on, and then we have a group of folk that already tried to the best of their ability, disseminate the information to us. So to impede communication, I think that's kind of like pigeonholing the employee and also us to be blindsided. And I just think that this is a lot that you're saying, and then even say disciplinary action. I understand the chain of command. You got to understand this is a government. This is government. This is not a for-profit business where you may be the CEO and the reason why you hire people to do your specific job. I think there is a line between the commission giving direction to a director or another employee, which should be prohibited, but to listen and to be able to either get information to them or, just like Mr. Napier today, I guess he talked to probably all of us, and you don't want an employee to feel impeded that they can't talk to a commissioner. This is what this says. I know you're saying that's not what we mean, but if they're not saying the right things, then it could be disciplinary action. But as long as they're saying the right things, things that...
I just think a thorough review would see this policy is not, and it's not saying to impede any employee from talking to an elected official. That's not what it's saying.
This is what it's saying, as I comprehend it. The email, what if? This is conversation. So,
Yes, sir.
And so, when we get this, we are policymakers, so I think that it is proper that we do speak on this, and you get it from us as well as far as what we think,
Yes,
because that's what we do, legislating. I know that's part of our job, and in doing this job, I want to be fair to all, because you go back where there were some employees talking about retaliation.
Mm-hmm.
This could look like it's a form of retaliation, and we have to be careful. And I think that the thought process may be good intent, but it do look like, to me, it could be a form of some retaliation. Now we're putting this policy in place, and what it would do is deter employees from talking to their commissioners.
Right.
We are their commissioners as well.
Yes,
so
sir.
I just wanted to make that clear. And commissioners, we already know through training, ethics training, things of that nature, not to cross those lines. And sometimes we may be that liaison that can bring the message back through our employee, which is the city manager, and it be received a lot better without repercussion. So that's just my take on that. I wanted the board to hear my perspective on that. And so I think as we're a voice of the public, we also should be a voice for our employees as well.
Exactly. And my recommendation was that this policy, because it was put under regular business, should not be there, so the commission does not have to make a decision on this. And as I can see, you have concerns about the information that's contained within, how it's written, or if it will impede the ability of our employees to communicate with the commission. If that is the case, any changes or anything that you feel that does not line up and is going to impede their rights as employees or constituents to the commission, I ask that all those changes be noted, emailed, and let me make the necessary changes to bring back a document that will still protect and provide transparency, as well as everything else that we're trying to do here at the city, and bring back a document that the commission would be able to agree upon and pass. But I do believe we do need a staff elected officials relation policy so that our staff can, because there are, even though we are constituents, as employees, we're citizens as well, there still are things that we cannot cross and should not cross as relating to elected officials and undermining or omitting our supervisor or our city manager. Being your only employee, and without saying that they can't send anything or BCC you, but if the city manager does not know, and then all of a sudden, just a scenario, she gets a call with something where she's been BCC'd and has nothing about. She don't know about the BCC. She doesn't even know anything go out. It went straight to the elected officials, and then all of a sudden, your job as elected officials, and she being your only employee, is to ask her about it. But she doesn't know. So it is to protect our employees as well as giving her right authority to be able to run the city as you all have elected her to do. But I also want the policy to have the language and not overstep anything that you feel that is taken away from the employees as being citizens or constituents.
Well, we have to do a workshop on this, I think, because this is not, it's one-sided, I see it. And then, I don't know if you even have, it's one-sided. I just think that we should take this into consideration as far as a workshop where we all can have input. And I don't want to derelict those duties of being a legislator and policy maker. I want input on making policies that we have to adhere to as well as our employees.
Go ahead, Commissioner Campbell.
I actually agree with Commissioner Jones, and that was one of the reasons why I said I did not want to nix it off of the agenda, because again, this is one of the only opportunities, whether we talk about it tonight or whether we talk about when you bring it to us again. And I think the given direction, I'm not against the policy because I understand from the perspective, but I also understand what Commissioner Jones is stating, and I respect it even more knowing that he has an HR background. So his input is valued when it comes down to things of that nature. So I would move that we host a workshop as well, just so that we would be able to dive in solely on that policy. Don't overload it, I'm telling you now. So that we can dive into these kind of things. And this may be an example of how we move forward with presenting policies for consideration. The best method for some things may be in a workshop so that we won't have to rush through it, and that time is solely dedicated to making sure that as we navigate, because I have to agree, there are some things that I was like, whoa, what? Yeah. And again, we don't want to put our staff in a position to make them feel as if they can't come to us with respect. We understand that there is protocol, but we want to make sure that that policy reflects that they are, again, you understand the intent, but put before us, I would not have, even if this was up for a vote tonight, I would have voted no. And that's just being completely transparent.
Yes.
So from that, we gather we're suggesting or recommending a workshop.
Yes. And we are scheduling workshops. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just say, Mayor, I concur.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones.
Appreciate it.
On to C, city manager evaluation.
Okay. Madam Mayor, Commissioners, okay. In accordance with the city's employment agreement and the adopted policy, the commission has finalized the annual performance evaluation of the city manager. The evaluation process included individual written assessments submitted by each commissioner, a review of established annual goals and strategic priorities, consideration of organizational leadership, fiscal management, communication, and overall operation performance. All feedback has been compiled in a consolidated summary that reflects the collective input of the commission. Identified strengths included citizens relations, intergovernmental relations, communications, management style, and job effectiveness. The commission also identified areas for continued focus and improvement, including personnel management, financial management, implementation of commission policies, providing information, providing advice. The commission has established clear direction and measurable expectations for the upcoming evaluation period. Overall, the commission finds that the city manager has met expectations during this evaluation period. Based on the results of the evaluation, the commission may approve and adjustment to the city manager's compensation in accordance with the employment agreement. This concludes the human resource summary of the annual performance evaluation.
Go ahead, Commissioner Jones.
I just have one question. It's a statement, really. In completing this evaluation form, I did have a one-on-one with the city manager, and I also completed this evaluation form. But as I was completing the task, I noticed there are 3 categories. And it says, need improvement, meet expectation, exceed expectation. But it doesn't have an area on here where it's not meet. And not that I would have put not meet on any of these, but it doesn't have one area for that. Is there any reason for
Not
that?
me, that is the form that was adopted by the commission. The needs improvement would be, from my standpoint, not meeting expectations.
Right. Yeah,
Yes.
but it doesn't have it, and that is a category on most. But that was just a statement, again.
Yes, sir.
The second statement I have is, I noticed we were notified that everyone hadn't submitted at first, and then we received another copy of, and it said that the other commissioners had completed theirs a little later. And so in the comment section, I was actually looking forward to knowing what my colleagues have written in as far as any comments. And there are several spaces that are left blank. And I know mine was one that you said some areas was illegible. And I
Any
did it to
yes, sir. Any comments that are not listed, there are no, it's just a compile. Whatever comments were given for any section are listed. If there's not a comment, it can be up to 5 comments for each section. If there's not 5 comments, it simply means that there was not a comment presented for on an evaluation.
Okay. All right, that was it. Those are the comments and questions I had. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I would like to address something. I believe I heard in the report that the commission can make a recommendation of salary. I do want to go on the record. Number one, I want to understand, do we need a motion to accept this evaluation as the full commission? That's the question I have. And secondly, if we need to make a recommendation, because I know, well, I'm not looking to make any salary recommendation. We're good. So I just want to know how we need to move forward. Do we have to adopt this since it's from everybody individually?
I think it would be prudent to have a motion.
Do we have a motion to adopt the evaluation?
You want me to hold it off before I make the motion?
Is there
You
any
want to
more
comment?
Okay,
Yeah.
we can have further discussion. Go ahead, Commissioner Campbell, did you have something?
I was going to make the recommendation that whoever makes the motion, that the copy of this evaluation be placed in her personnel file, just so that it is a part of official documentation.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion, or who wants to make the motion?
I'll make the motion. I move that we accept the city manager's performance appraisal for the period as presented, and that we do not recommend any salary changes at this time.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you.
Maybe because I didn't do a commissioner.
No, I was gonna.
And
so
I
you
want to
don't have
make sure it will be anyway. That's where
No,
this,
I'm gonna make a motion just so
okay,
that.
okay.
I
'Cause-
wasn't gonna change it or do
Okay.
anything different, but.
And one thing I want to say and make sure I understand is that the next evaluation period will be 1 year.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're on annual now. And also, while you gave the summary report, a copy will be in her personnel
Yes,
file.
ma'am.
I mean, as with
So I'm
any
fine.
other
Yes.
employee.
I'm
Okay,
fine then.
okay, thank you.
It's fine.
And I was tasked to work with HR on the 2 letters of reprimand, and those going to be brought back to us? How are we addressing that?
Oh, you don't have the copies? I could go,
No, I'm not saying if it has to come before next meeting. I was asked to work on those,
I'm lost on the what?
the letters of reprimand.
So there was I personally made the request that during the process of the cure period, those, if there was something that was not met, that it be a reprimand because that came from a previous request or requirement. And so I made that request.
Yes, and I was tasked to do that, and I did work with HR, and we did do that. Yeah, so it just has to be brought back to us. Just want to make sure that we don't lose track of it. Thank you.
yeah, the letter is already prepared. If you would like to present that later, I can go and print that off. The
It's
letter is
gonna-
already
no,
there.
it needs
No,
to
we'll
be-
wait till the
Wait
next
till
time.
next
We'll
time.
wait till the next time, that's fine. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lost about the letter of reprimand, but anyways, you know, we've had a number of things that has happened in the city. We've had things where we allowed for individuals who resign before before action be taken, and I don't know, HR didn't take action after the individual resigned prior to, but anyway, so we've had people, intern student who was cursed out by an employee here. And that was well noted, it was well documented, investigated, but we allow for a staff member to curse out an intern student, and nothing happens in that individual's file. So I think we need to be, let me say, we need to be consistent across the board as it relates to when we talking about, and it was an investigation done, and we know, in fact, these things happen. There's a combination of things, so I think we need to be careful when we're starting to put reprimands in individuals' files, that it certainly have the weight in it and is warranted for that. So I think that weighted very heavily. And there's other things that's been brought to the commission that warrants that if the HR doesn't do it, I mean, if the city manager doesn't do it, or HR doesn't do it, then the commission should have a weigh in on those things happening, even if it fails in those layers. That's my only warning to putting this thing in an individual file when we've had these, and these things are fair, it is not that old. I mean, I would say less than 2 years old, and that has happened, and it's been investigated. So that's my only warning.
Go ahead, Commissioner Campbell.
Well, I'll make the statement. Our only hire is the city manager. What the city manager decides to do within her discretion, overseeing the various staff members, that's solely up to her or them at that time. So I don't want us to be confused at what we do versus what she does. And what we did was made this a recommendation way back then, and it was actually voted on unanimously that something that was a requirement of the commission, if it was not to be done or could not have been proven to have been done, that it would be documented in her file, because this was a requirement from a previous situation that overlapped with this situation that caused for her to have to do the same thing that should have been done prior to. That's why I made the motion to have it documented in the file. If it would have been proven, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But again, what we do with the person that we hire versus what she does, those are two different things.
Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
So this is leading me to a question. And my memory may not be clear on it, but I thought that of the requirements that were given, in addition to a couple that had not been done previously, they were added to this cure
It were.
requirement. And during the cure period, they were completed.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure. But what we voted on was that they were not originally done,
Correct.
and that we had to add them to this second request.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make
Correct.
sure I'm on the same page. Okay, thanks.
Any further discussion?
Well, I would need to reconnect with whatever the write-up was. I need to evaluate and look at that so I can make a better informed decision
That's
as
what
it
she was
relates.
saying, it's gonna come before us.
Right.
It's going to come, yes, it'll be on the next agenda, I would assume. Go ahead, Commissioner Jones.
First, I want to say I don't like the format that we're talking about this, because of the fact, I want to have some discretion as what I say, and I don't want Ms. Carter to feel a bad way. I have to praise her, and then we're going to talk about this. I wish we would have did this first and then came back with some praise. However, that entire ordeal, how do we document that? Or how did we, or how was we supposed to document that in the evaluation? Because it was not an opportunity really to do so. I don't know if I'm just feeling that way or what. Am I not making myself clear?
So you need to finish your statement, so.
Yeah,
can-
I
finish,
say
then we can ask questions.
how were we supposed to take that into consideration with the evaluation? There were some things that led to discipline.
Yes.
And here there were not really any opportunities to list, to rate, any of it. Go ahead, Mayor, Commissioner.
Go ahead.
So,
Commissioner
good
Davis.
question. So I took it based on the format that we have, because that speaks to follow-up or some specific things that we got to rate her on. And when I was rating, I did consider those when I gave a rating for specific categories as it relates to timeliness of things, and made a comment about it. But that's pretty much it.
And that's how I did it as
Timeliness versus in a comment, and we've talked about, moving forward with that, but I didn't cite it as a specific item, but I took it into overall consideration when giving feedback for her performance from my perspective.
As did I, so.
I did as well.
I guess we all did, but it wasn't specifically, what I said specifically.
I get what you're saying, if I may respond.
Go ahead.
I think when we did what we did as far as the cure process and allowing that to officially close out, that served as a separate component versus the evaluation, which again, if we all say that we took that into consideration, because if there were anything that needed to be corrected based on the cure period, and that we had the opportunity to give her direction, and she gave us feedback to that. So that all goes back into the breakdown of what was broken down through the evaluation overall.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, it is, because I just wanted, for clarity,
That's fine.
while we have this in front of us, what area is that you were referring to?
There's a combination.
Yeah.
The whole document is broken down into different components, which a lot of those components were a part of what needs to be addressed during the cure process or what we put before her.
Okay. I just want the example, but I guess we.
I mean, even if we talk about just one of the simple things, the timeliness. timely. Like, we put something before her, and if we're taking in consideration the time frame that we gave her during the cure period of 30 days, you can automatically add that to the overall timeliness of other tasks and other things that she does as city manager. I mean, there's a list of things that could correlate based on the cure process and what is encompassed in this evaluation form.
Okay, so, and I'm gonna move on because I'm not gonna beat this. So, let me be clear on my intent. So my intent would be, if there was an issue that she was cited for, I should be able to document that. And I know you said that, I know the mayor said she documented the file, but we don't even know what it is. I haven't seen it. But a specific, whatever infraction it is, or was at the time, what was the root cause, what got us there, and how could we, as her boss, could, in this evaluation, to say, here's the corrective action, we knew what we said we wanted you to do, but going forward, maybe a comment, I have noticed Ms. Carter have taken the initiative to do X, Y, and Z. So that would be a plus for her. I'm not saying to beat up, but to give her a plus and say, she has showed exemplary candor in achieving these tasks by doing A, B, or C. I don't see an area where I could have done that, addressing the individual acts. So that's all I'm saying.
And I'm going to ask for clarification, but what I think I hear is two different things. There's a cure period. We had a situation, and we had a cure period. And what came of the cure period was, after the cure period, was that she had done the things, and that there was a motion to restore her fully to her position. Am I clear? So I think that ended cure period, is the way I took it. Then we were back on her regular position as city manager. And this evaluation was, how is she doing in her job? And so that's what I took it as, two distinct items. There was a situation, an allegation, we addressed that, which is what we did through the cure period, according to her contract. We went through that, approved her to come back to duty, that was done, that she'd met what we asked her to do. And now we're just back to regular city manager work and evaluation. And so that's what I'm understanding. Now, if there's something different, I look for clarification.
And I just think things were happening simultaneously. And so they kind of overlapped. The whole grievance, cure, evaluation, all was tied up, tangled up. So again, I am in agreement with the statement that Commissioner Davis made, as it's two separate.
Great. So when can we expect the copy of what you authored?
Ms. Jones will get that out to us.
So when did you guys complete that?
I'm sorry?
When did we do that? It was a few weeks ago. It was early February, right?
Yes.
I mean, early-
So
I mean,
the latter part of
it's actually in
January. I think
January,
it's
I'm
been
sorry.
2
It's
weeks.
in
The
January.
letters were actually the final copies that were compiled.
We're in
So,
January.
yeah.
So I'm gonna say it. And I heard Jesus, I'm calling him too. This goes back to the effectiveness, efficient. This should have been something that we could have brought today, or would have had to where we can go ahead and close this out, especially if it has been done for 2 weeks.
Actually, a little more. I mean, we got together the week after our last.
And that goes back, and I understand we all have a lot of stuff going on in our departments, but there are some things that we should just be able to close out and be done with. And that task was something that we should have been done, closed out with, and moving forward and looking for our next thing to be done with. And so we, and I'll say we because we all do, We have a work to be done with being more efficient and effective with bringing stuff before the commission, and once it is executed, bringing it back to the commission. And I always say, we talk about something when it's hot, but when it's no longer hot, it's on the back burner. So again, I want us to be more proactive in making sure that when we have direction that comes from, and you just happen to be here at the moment, but I'm talking to the general body, from the heads down to all of the employees, that we have work to do when it comes down to that type of stuff.
And I will apologize to the commission that once the letters were generated, it was my understanding, since the commission had said they were looking for the mayor actually to go make sure that what you had recommended, the reprimand for not completing the two.
But we knew that when the cure process was commenced, that it hadn't been done.
Right.
So that information was nothing new to us, because I purposely brought it before, because that was a concern of mine, and I've voiced that several times. So you don't have to apologize, because this is something that we've had. Let me have the moment. We have done on several other things where we have initiated or had a liaison where we may not have clearly communicated. That's why I say I'm speaking from the individuals that sit here. So this is for all of us. This is not solely dedicated to you. You just so happen to standing there.
Yes, sir.
And the issue has arisen again, so I wanted to address it. But this is nothing solely putting you out there. We as a whole have to do a lot better with being more effective and efficient with bringing stuff back to this commission. And I'll be the first. If there's anywhere that I lack, because I'll wait to the last minute to get a document into you like I did with the evaluation, but it was submitted. But I have to work better for myself. So this is not just something solely to you. This is a whole group, so.
Mayor, and that's where we were going with that whole team Palatka, so we're all leveling up.
Okay, exactly. So you don't have to apologize. We will do better. We will do better. I promise you.
Thank you. Thank you. On to public hearings. Second reading, rezone ordinance 2026-08. Parcel number 031026000000100060, located at 0 PRC Way.
Ms. West will be representing Mr. Lorenzo. He's out ill.
Filling in for Becker and Polyakov and the entire planning department. This is the second reading, so it's already been approved one other time. This is for a lot on PRC Way. The applicant is Beck Sloan. It's the rezoning of a 5.68 parcel. We have had a presentation on this from the planning director once before. Do you have any additional questions?
And I do want to make sure that the record reflects that a representative did email the commission to let them know that they would not be present tonight. So again, I want that to be on the public record that that email did come in.
Correct. And the applicant did have an agent in attendance for the first reading, so that does suffice.
Yes. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
The motion is second. Is anybody here for public comment on this particular item?
We've already did public comment for general comment, sir.
No, I was talking about the evaluation, so.
Oh, no, that's not.
Well, okay. Yeah, please, don't do that, sir. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. B, request to annex, amend the future land use map and rezone 500 Browning Avenue and 201 North Highway 17, ordinance number 2026-09, ordinance number 2026-10, ordinance number 2026-11, and parcel tax ID number, parcels numbers rather, there are two, 011026, 0250, 0200, 0000, and 011026, 0250, 0220, 0050. Ms. West.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a request to annex two parcels, approximately 4.16 acres in total, for the purpose of connecting to the city's water and sewer system It also contemplates amending the future land use map from Putnam County Commercial to Urban Service to the City of Palatka Commercial. And in addition to the FLUM, it also seeks to rezone from Putney County Commercial Retail C2 and Residential Mix R2 to the City of Palatka Intensive Commercial. And the applicant, Mr. Lewis, I believe, is in attendance. Sir, if you'd like to please come up and address the commission.
Madam Mayor and Commissioners and ancillary staff, my name is Perry Lewis, and I'm here just to seek if I can get approval to annex over into the city.
Anybody have any questions? Go
Sure
ahead.
I do. So, Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
in this application, I realized that it was done back in, was it 2023?
It was, yes.
Previously, and it seems that the usage or the proposed development has changed about 3 times. Am I right on that or wrong? 2 times?
No, just once from me. Now, I don't know what the purpose of it was before I purchased it, but my goal was to develop a RV park, but within the last 3 weeks, my civil engineer had made up a drawing, and he could only get 37, 38 pads out of it, and to be profitable, we need at least 50. So I'm having a change of thought in what that property will be used for, but at the same time, I'd like to still connect with city water and sewer.
So, my concerns that I want to bring to the commission and out in public, with the use, and I mean, quite sure it's your property, if we deem it and say, hey, yeah, we want to annex it in, you can do what you want with it. But I think when we start talking about the future land use, we should know what's going into that parcel prior to us just saying, yes, we give you the blessing to annex in. That's very important to me, sitting up here, because of the neighboring, what's neighboring that parcel.
Sure.
Because maybe the folks don't want a RV park there. Maybe they want some commercial. Maybe they want some affordable housing.
Sure.
And I think that should be completed on the application. We should know prior to just annexing in. Secondly, there's other parcels, and this don't have anything, this part don't have anything to do with you directly. Other parcels in that area on that 17 corridor that has been trying to get city services. And I want to know, I want to ask our staff, the cost look a little different from this applicant than other applicants. And that's a problem. That is a problem, and I can give you an example, and I see red in the back, where we have the Economy Inn Hotel just a little north of you. Their cost to tap into the water and sewer is a lot more than yours. And again, it don't have anything to do with you, but those are questions that we're going to be asked. Why? Why is it discrepancy? And I want to know myself right now.
Well, I could probably tell you, because I have a price from DOT that I got an estimate was about $375,000 to get water to my property and sewer. And that was to rip up all the sidewalk and then have engineers and everybody do their work on my behalf and put it underneath the sidewalk, put the lift stations and the grinders up, and put the sidewalk back and put the grass back on my own behalf. And I agreed to that. And so that was only to go 400 feet. Now, I know the place where you're talking about. That's just north of me, probably 6 blocks. And if he would like to, you know, at the same cost as what I would have to pay per linear foot, then that's his prerogative. So I don't mind, you know, that's okay. That would be his business decision, not mine.
No, it's more than that. $375,000 is what they recorded. It's more than that. Because they brought it up to
I want to
us.
ask him to come.
So,
I don't think that's appropriate.
Um,
Oh, no, I'm thinking about him.
No,
That's building, I don't think that's.
That was just plumbing city water sewer to my place.
right. So, again, that's my reservation. I want to tell you, and I asked were you gonna be here because I wanted to say it to the property owner. And the reservation is because of that, and that's on the city side. I want to bring it on this diet. But the other two is, I want to know what's going in, what is the plan, and, I think it's important.
Okay, so fair enough, I agree. You know, since the plan has changed for RV park because it's not gonna be, the revenue won't be coming in as what we expected, I am now leaning towards maybe a little mini mall type thing, or switch it back on over to half of it would be back to residential and the other half continue as commercial property and build out like that. So whether you have housing going in there or commercial property, buildings going up, utilizing the water and sewer is really not going to be affected versus one or the other. What may be affected is what the clientele around the property, their wishes and wants of what they want in there or would not want in there. When I bought the property, I had, there was a house just on the north side of my property, south on the line. That house was a disaster. And if I had not bought that property and taken down the woods, then that house would have been there and still would be there today. So it's a increase in the value, whether it be the county or whether it would be the city. It would bring in revenue for the city. Not only that, on my behalf, if you're bringing revenue into the city, it would be the population that I'm also bringing in, that those people would be eating at restaurants or shopping in the Palatka area. So if it just is dormant and nothing's there, then you're defeating the purpose of the city of Palatka growing. You know, you want it to thrive.
Yeah. Our conception is that we want responsible growth, and we want the kind of growth that looks into our future for our constituents. Not all the time about folk that come in and flip property. Let's just be honest with you.
I don't want to flip it.
So that's why my antennas went up when the different usage came out, and I was reading the application. I sent an email out to staff today saying this, and so I want to be transparent with my colleagues by saying, when the application is made, for us to make a decision, it should be thorough and complete and accurate. So this request is basically, what we have is an old request, and I would like for it to have been revised so that we're making a decision based on fresh information.
Okay, fair enough.
That's my feedback.
Back when I filled out that application, I was working here at the hospital as a nurse practitioner working with Dr. Curavella, and I came down with pancreatic cancer. And so I'm a survivor, 5 years out, so that application was just prior to me coming down with pancreatic cancer. So that was why the slowdown of the progression of what I wanted to go ahead and put in there. But it's just recently when I got back on track a year ago this January, I came down with lung cancer. And I had my right upper lobe taken out. So that put a little delay on my project out there. I'm permanently disabled. And so due to the cancers, and they're projecting that I'll probably get more cancers from toxic exposure from the military, so my plan is just to continue with my project, and whatever it takes, I'll continue with. And whatever building I put in there or property will make a difference, but I think it'll be a positive difference. So, I don't mind, when I get to that decision. It's gonna be, I'll tell you right now, it's either gonna be going back to residential and I build out and then rent, as some of my neighbors are doing with the duplexes there. And I'll put in a few of those, and then on the commercial side of the long strip there, then I'll put a little mini strip mall in there with, I don't know how many little buildings all connected together with the intention of renting them out to whoever would be wanting a business, whether it be fixing up boats, whether it be hairdresser salon, whether it would be candy store, ice cream store, whatever the business would come in, that's what would go in.
Do you have anything else?
No.
Commissioner Davis, did you have something?
So, yes, how, I know it depends on factors, but what is your goal in terms of a timeline for looking to start your development?
Well, my timeline was to get started immediately, and what the first part of the plan was to get water to it, because without water, then I can't do anything else with whatever goes in, buildings, housing. So that was gonna be ASAP, and until just recently, my civil engineers provided me a layout. It was a nice layout and everything, but again, it wasn't what really needs to sustain RV Park. So now I'm going back in to reconsider what else can I do with the property. So, but that's what I think, it's either gonna be housing, or it's gonna be like a mini strip mall.
Okay, Commissioner Borum?
Yes, I think it's something that we'll have to think about, but I do know legislation is out there that is preventing local municipalities from blocking or restricting various types of things, whether it's part of the comprehensive plan, land use, all these different things. So saying no to some of these things, I know are made with the potential of saying no. Legislation is moving forward, and I think you very well know about this, I think the city attorney, about the legislation that's moving forward as it relates to land use and not being able to hold individuals to whatever that particular land use is, especially for the developers or what have you. So that's just kind of been on the thing from the advocacy committee that I just like to just share that out.
Right, I believe you're talking about SB 180, where it prevents us from adopting any regulations that are more restrictive. I do need to add just some legal context here. From the annexation and the future land use map change, there is no legal requirement that the applicant commit to a particular plan. It's a land use change, and that can, whatever they end up putting on the property could change significantly so long as it is within the allowable use of whatever that future land use category or that zoning designation is. They are allowed the entire breadth of what is allowed in C2, for example. So that plan can change, and often does. You see this with developers purchasing property. They annex, get all the future land use changes, the rezonings, and then they flip it. You have a statement here that that's not the intention, but there's nothing legally impermissible about that.
Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
Thank you, Ms. West, and that was going to be my next point, is that this meets all the requirements necessary to give this, make this change. So I'm going to move that we accept the recommendation of the staff to approve.
Second.
The motion is second. Anybody here for public comment? Could you step aside, Mr. I see him. Mr. Lewis, could you step aside? Thank you.
Palatka Kitchens, Palatka, Florida. I was at the planning board hearings, and while it may not meet the requirement of the law, as Ms. West just said, the policy is when someone appears before the planning board, they request certain changes, the planning board makes their decision based on the legality of the changes and based on the purported use of the property. Since the use has changed, and I'm sorry about Mr. Lewis's condition, but I have to look at it from a practical standpoint. As a former commissioner and as a citizen who may want to get changes myself at some point on some piece of land, I think this must be referred back to the planning board. Let them decide if they want to go ahead, refer it back to the planning board. He's not gonna do what he said, he's not gonna do residential, he's talking about changing it back to some of the zoning. If you approve it to change, then he's gotta go back to the planning board and have it changed back to another zoning apparently. But and no offense, but since his use has changed from what he presented to the planning board, less than a month ago, then I think that it's your duty from a policy standpoint and not set precedent. Just go ahead and refer it back to the planning board, let the planning board rehear what he has to say, and then let them decide if they want to again agree to the changes. And if they do, then it'll come back to you to vote on. But I think you must send it back to the planning board. This has been done for other people, developers, who have come and wanted to make a change or have presented an unfinished plat to you all, and you send it back to the planning board. And one of you, I forgot which one it was, I think it was Mr. Jones, mentioned that it wasn't complete. Send it back to the planning board, let them rehear it, and then have it come back to you. Mr. Lewis is not ready to move forward at this point. He said he isn't because of various things, the economy, and now he can't do the 50 RV lots. And the RV park is what the planning board thought was going to go in there. That's what the citizens who heard the public hearing thought. That's all changed. Please send it back to the planning board. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. West, I'm going to defer to you for your thought on this.
Again, it is a land use change, and you are legally permissible to do any of the options under that land use category or that zoning designation, yes.
So let me ask you this, and it's just to put out there, if the intent of the property change, because essentially what I'm hearing him say, he just wants to get the sewer and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Does that have to go back before
No,
the planning board?
The planning board acts in an advisory capacity to the city commission. It is a recommendation. It has nothing to do with the water and sewer. There's simply
I'm asking about the overall project. If the scope of what the intent was, does that have to go back before the planning board or come before the commission for?
It does not. The planning board members frequently are curious, and they do want to know the details of what the project is going to entail, which is natural, and you want your planning board members to be inquisitive. But the applicant is not bound by whatever proposal that they come up with. They're just not legally bound to that. They are allowed to do any of the vested, permitted rights under that zoning designation. And that is because market forces change, as you have seen in this case. They are allowed to change their project. But it is within the discretion of this commission on how you want to proceed.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition?
Nay.
3-2. Motion passes. Request to annex, amend future land use map and rezone 3129 Reed Street, ordinance number 202612, 202613, 202614, for parcel number 011026865000600100. Ms. West.
Yes, this is, again, a request to annex two parcels. Hold on. No, this is 2532. Annexing two parcels.
It's only one parcel.
Give me just a second, please.
Okay, sure.
Make sure I'm on the right one. I know, and I don't appear to have that file from planning.
It's up on the screen if you need to look at it.
Okay.
And it's the same parcel. There's not multiple parcels, at
Okay.
least from what I read.
Oh, all right.
You got it?
Yeah, my apologies. I don't have the file from the planning department for this particular item, but I'll just go based upon what's on the screen. This is a request to annex just one parcel, approximately 0.69 acres, into the city of Palatka, again, to connect to water and sewer. And this is for the purpose of developing a car dealership. Again, it's going to be amending the future land use map from Putnam County Commercial to City of Palatka Commercial, and also a rezoning from Putnam County Commercial Neighborhood C1 to City of Palatka Intensive Commercial C2. And the applicant owner's name is Mikhail Dejuk and Diana Dejuk. I apologize if I'm botching any names here, and I don't know if the applicant or their agent is in attendance. My apologies if I butchered your name.
And could you please give us your name for the record?
Yeah, I am Jason Davis, greetings Mayor, Commissioners, and fellow city staff members. I'm Jason Davis, authorized to speak on behalf of Dr. Dejuk and Diana.
You're East Palatka produce?
Oh, sorry, what's that?
I was just saying you look familiar, and I was just trying to figure out.
Oh, yeah, I've been in the planning development place a lot, so, yeah. You'll probably see me somewhere.
Does anybody have any questions of the applicant's agent?
You said car dealership?
Yes, used car dealership.
Where's this again?
3129 Reed Street, so on the corner of Palm Avenue and Reed, right there, right by Napa.
By Napa, okay.
Yeah,
Right
right
where
by
the
Napa, just a vacant lot, just grass.
Right with that little.
Where the Virgin
Muriel,
Mary, where the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, the Virgin Mary, yes.
Yeah.
I have some
Right
trucks
now.
parked there right now, if you've seen them, but I have already some trucks there, so.
So y'all gonna construct a building there?
Yeah, we're going to. So the first step is, of course, to get the water there, which is what we're working on right now. Eli's helped out a lot with that. I believe they're gonna do that sometime this week. They said they're gonna put in the water, which we can pull permits.
And we'll- it's not
Yeah,
reading yet.
so what if we say no?
Well,
Well, it's
that's
also a
why I'm
second
here.
reading.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I don't really know much about the process, of course, you know.
Yeah.
I know
I think it's gonna.
you behold the authority, so that's why I'm here.
I guess everybody's used to us just saying rubber stamp it, so that's what it is. And so that's why I say a lot of times some information is still, some of it is present, but, yeah. I just want to know, I've seen that
Yeah.
vacant lot for a long time
Right.
with that statue on there, and there's several around town. And I am glad to see that the doctor is going to do something with those lots.
Right, yes.
Anybody else have any questions? No? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Oh, we have double seconds here, motion. One minute, I'm going to open up to public comment in a minute. We have a motion and a second. Public comment, could you please, so Ms. Kitchens can come up, thank you.
There's a lot of those around.
Allegra Kitchens, Palatka, Florida. I apologize for not having gotten back with staff sooner. But on this C, items 1, 2, and 3, Baileyville is spelled incorrectly. It's B-A-L-E-Y, and it should be B-A-I-L-E-Y. On the previous ordinances referring to Baileyville, it was spelled correctly, and I just want to make sure that it is spelled correctly in the city documents. So it is, Baileyville is misspelled on these three things.
Just that too,
Ms.
thank
Kitchens,
you.
I thought you was gonna come up here in opposition. I'm gonna just tell you the truth.
Okay, anybody else here for public comment?
Can we,
Seeing none, we close public comment.
I'll make a motion that we accept, given the scrivener's error.
Well, it's already in there, ain't it? Scrivener's error.
Yeah.
I just wanna
yes.
make sure
Yeah,
that-
it's providing for, it. It's
Right.
already there.
I'm noting it now.
So we have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. On to D, first reading ordinance 2026-15, an ordinance of the City of Palatka adopting a pre-approved exterior color palette for properties located within designated historic districts, adopting historically appropriate colors organized by architectural style and period, providing for administration, interpretation, and enforcement by the City of Palatka Historic Preservation Board and Planning Department.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This ordinance is coming to you at the request of the Historic Preservation Board. They've been meeting over the course of the last half year. Upon the discovery that the color choices, the color palettes that they had for the two historic districts were merely guidance only through the Department of Interior, and they preferred to have a color palette that had a little bit more guidance for people moving into the historic districts to establish expectations in order to preserve the character of those historic districts. So the color palettes that you have in your packet reflect several time periods that have existed since the city's incorporation in 1853. That would be the Victorian period, the colonial and classical revival period, the bungalow style, the craftsman style, and the post-war romanticism style. The color palettes that you see have been pulled from the St. Augustine Historic Architectural Review Board. There is some discretion within the body of the ordinance for deviations, slight deviations from the color palette, but as you can see, it's pretty extensive. And this is what the Historic Preservation Board has sought your approval in the final form of an ordinance.
Go ahead, Commissioner Campbell.
Now, I just have a question with regards to anyone that moves in that area or looking to paint, repaint, or paint. Will they be limited to the time frame in which that house was built? So I heard the different frame, or the different eras of when
Right.
the era. So I just want to,
Right.
as long as
So-
it falls within any of these color schemes, they will be able to utilize them for. Okay.
That is correct. We're not holding a bungalow to the
That's what I was
bungalow
trying-
colors only.
Okay.
Okay. And I do know it says, and I think it's just for reference, Sherwin-Williams, but just so that we make clear to people, they can use any brand of paint as long as they match the color
That's
palette.
right. We wanted
Sherwin-Williams tends to be expensive for some people, and it's quality paint, but I'm just saying, people feel somewhat limited.
Correct. The color copies don't always convey the color properly, and so to reference an actual paint brand leads to more accurate results.
Any other questions or discussion? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion, a second. Is there anybody here for public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to E, first reading ordinance 2026-16, general employee pension ordinance, an ordinance of the City of Palatka, Florida, revising Chapter 2, Division 4 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Palatka, Florida, entitled General Employees Retirement, amending Section 2-173, Forms of Payment of Pension, creating lump sum benefit options, revising Chapter 2, Division 6 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Palatka, Florida, entitled Firefighters Retirement Plan, amending Section 2-243, Forms of Payment of a Pension, creating lump sum benefit options, revising Chapter 2, Section 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Palatka, Florida, entitling Police Officers Retirement Plan, amending Section 2-250.200, Forms of Payment of a Pension, creating lump sum benefit options, repealing all ordinances in conflict. Ms. West?
No, Miss
Miss
Jones.
Miss Jones, I'm sorry.
Miss
No,
Jones.
I'm sorry. No.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, what the pension plan, the pension departments, the police, fire, in general voted on, it's being able to, the ordinance is going to provide for individual employees that have been vested for 7 years, that are not going into a drop plan, have the capability of taking lump sum payments of 5, 10, 15, and 20%, up to 20%. Once they retire, they can take that out as a lump sum payment and then receive the remainder, 80, 95, depending on the amount they take out, into the installments, which will decrease the amount of payments that they will be receiving, but they have that opportunity to take a lump sum payment.
Any questions?
And this has been vetted by the actuary. It's no effect and no cost to the city. I'm going to put that out there.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
A motion, a second. Is anybody here for public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to F, first reading, ordinance number 2026-17, an ordinance of the City of Palatka, Florida, revising Section 54-32 of the City Code to reduce the number of planning board members from 9 to 5 and 1 alternate, establishing attendance requirements. Ms.
West.
West?
Yes.
Got that.
So currently, the city of Palatka's code has a planning board consisting of 9 voting members, which is excessively high for a city of our size. One of the issues that we have been encountering is a difficulty in establishing a quorum because we have to have at least 5 members in attendance in order to move any of the applications through. So the solution that the planning board has crafted together with the planning director is to have 5 permanent members and 2 alternates. And that would be modeled after numerous other jurisdictions, and that would help alleviate the quorum issue.
Any questions, Ms. West? Go ahead, Ms. Davis.
Yes, so as I read this, I'm gonna just be honest, I'm not in favor of this. And the reason is, if we can do 5 plus 2, why not 7? One of my major concerns is, to Commissioner Jones's point, is so we just rubber stamp and it's just a check, check, check. Because I think it's important to have diversity on the board, and perhaps the issue is we don't have the right people. And I get that, you know, it's hard to get people on these boards, but what I do agree with in this change is the attendance policy. But having 3 people make decisions, I think is just not enough representation. And I just don't think that's reasonable in order for the business that has to occur before things are vetted to come here for a final decision. So I do want to say that. You know, generally, I think on a planning committee, 7 to 9 is, and I get it, you're talking about the size of our city, but generally speaking, a 7 to 9 member planning board is kind of a standard from what I see. So I just want to put that out there. 3 people. And I think, and this goes something besides this. I disagree with this, but we also may have an opportunity to ensure that when we're getting the applications for board members, that we're looking at the requirements of who makes up that board to see that we're getting complementary board members so that we can have feedback from all areas, not just 3 people who say, you know, make it happen, make it happen. So that's my feedback.
And I think that came as a result of, even with the airport, when we were moving forth with that we wanted to take a look at all of our boards across just to make sure that it is a reflection. So I'm interested in knowing, is this, did this come about because of, how did this particular conversation come about wanting to change from, I heard everything, but how did it come about at this time?
We had to cancel several planning board meetings due to a lack of quorum, which significantly, since they only meet once a month, that means the applicant basically has to wait a whole 2 months before they can even get a recommendation to come to you. So it's considered basically, from the applicant's perspective, more bureaucratic red tape, and there has been significant frustration.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
My question is, do we have any documented instances where from the time of whatever going back on the record, how many of those meetings has been canceled? You know, as it relates to the number of meetings that they could not make quorum and the meetings that they made quorum, because if it's to the degree to where they're not making it and it's impacting things, and because I want to weigh it out to understand before I make a decision on it as it relates to saying, okay, well, they didn't make the last 2 or 3 meetings or the last meeting. So if it's been that way since inception and they're only missing like 2 or 3 meetings or what have you, then we need to take a look at it as it relates to the overall impact of their not making meetings.
I don't have any numbers for you at this time. I will tell you that I don't think that there's been a strict adherence to what constitutes a quorum in past years.
I think we need, 'cause I was a planning board member before I became a commissioner, so I know probably some of the things that you're dealing with now, we were dealing with way back when. So I understand, but I think it's an opportunity in order for us, so it doesn't appear as if we are just solely picking out one that we bring as a whole, and possibly see what we can do across the board, to alleviate, because even on some of the other boards, I know they're running into some of the issues with quorums as well. And that's just not, honestly, that's just with boards in general and not solely just with the city of Palatka. I sit on several boards where we struggle with quorum, and this type of conversation has come up. So I think in order for us to effectively just move forward with one band, one sound, that we just bring all of our boards and take up and let's address it as a whole rather than just individually. Because I think there is a lot to take in consideration that possibly could change the way or the structure of other boards as well.
Did you have something else to say, Commissioner Davis?
Are board members notified prior to their board and via email? And via email, do they respond?
Yes, so our planning clerk, Alex Romero, is responsible for the HPB and planning board, and he does call to ensure that there is quorum and does try to follow up with that as much as possible.
Got it. So we do know as much as as much as the feedback he gets when we potentially may not have a quorum, or people who say they're coming and just don't show up, correct? Listen, let me just speak frankly. So we have the wrong people on the board.
I don't.
No.
think so,
I'm not asking for validation. I'm not asking for validation. I'm making a statement. We have people who are not committed to what they asked to do because they requested to be on this board and we voted for them to be on the board.
There have been illnesses.
I just want to make that statement. But if, I don't see a solution, the solution being, so we'll just reduce the number. Because if 3 people get sick out of 5, we still have an issue if the other 2 can't make it. I guess I don't see how this policy is going to correct the issue. It sounds like we have a deeper problem. And I'm with Commissioner Campbell. If we're going to do that, I think we need to look at all of our boards, understand how many people are attending to see if we're compliant, and then I think we can come up with a board policy across, so.
Okay, so if I can get a little bit of direction, I am really loath to touch the airport advisory board again. We are.
No, I use that as an example. I just use that as an example of.
So you want the list of what we're recommending, we discussed?
No,
is that-
let me be clear.
Okay.
I use that as.
Scared me too.
Right.
No, let me be clear. I use that as a example
He was being
of the
hypothetical.
conversation that came as a result of what we were trying to do with that board. I didn't say bring that is done, let's just get the people on there. But I think moving forward, giving what Commissioner Davis said, it gives us an opportunity just to address as a whole, because again, I know even when I was on the fire pension, like we'll have to wait until we can get somebody, and it 9 times out of 10 was me being, hey, let me just run from this school real quick. But I think that it gives us the opportunity to address as a whole the number, but it also makes us take in consideration how can we strengthen those who support, the staff that support those boards, to where I know on some of the boards, if we miss 3 meetings within a certain time frame, we're getting a letter of some sort asking us for reconsideration of our commitment or corrective action plan, because again, if you ask to be a part of this organization, this board, there is a level of commitment that is expected. So that gives us an opportunity to put the support into those that support those boards, so that, hey, if you're not fulfilling the commitment, maybe you just might want to resign, or, so those are things that we will be able to address at that moment.
I think we also have to do a better job of educating the community about the value of being on the board, what that involves, to get more people interested, to make it more, the value of being on the board, the positive experience it can be, what you learn about your city, the civics aspect of it. And I don't know if we do such a good job of that. We post what's vacant, but we don't know, people don't know what's involved in being on this board, the commitment. And when you're there, what is that commitment involved? What is the expectations? Almost that onboarding piece beforehand, but a little summary about what does the planning board do? What would you have to do when you're on the planning board? That kind of thing in a very brief, succinct way, so that people know what they're diving into. Because I think sometimes people think it's a good idea to volunteer and then find out, ooh, I really don't like this, so I'm just not going to show up. Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
I have another question. So I know we voted tonight on the consent agenda, but prior, there was one vacancy on the planning board, which tells me there were 8 people, right? My question is, if we have a 9-person board and it is not filled, how are we calculating quorum anyway?
The only way you can calculate quorum that is legally acceptable is the
Whole
whole
board.
number,
That's the
which is
point.
9.
Correct.
You have to have a majority in attendance, which is 5.
That's correct. I just wanted to get that on the record. I do know that answer. So my point is, we have a bigger board situation. Last year, we asked that this board process be looked at anyway. But is that, I guess my other question is that the only board that's having issues with quorum and making decisions? And I'm saying that kind of tongue in cheek because I do recognize the impact of the planning board, which is different from the tree committee or, something else. But is planning board, I mean, we have the Board of Zoning Appeals, we have 3 vacancies.
Yeah, that
So-
board hasn't met in years.
I can tell you, I have not even heard of it happening. I agree.
Yeah,
So my
remember
point
that.
is, if I'm going back to, I don't like to piecemeal things. And I think that's what Commissioner Campbell was saying, and not to put words in his mouth, but that's what I'm saying. I just don't want to, I understand the impact of planning board, but I just don't believe that lowering the number of members is the answer to address the solution, to address the issue at hand.
So unlike your other boards, like your Historic Preservation Board, your planning board members are acting in a quasi-judicial capacity. And so their decisions, items cannot move forward until they go before the planning board. So if I can get some direction, if you want me to take a stab at revising this draft ordinance to only have an attendance policy in place, to reduce the number to 7, if I could get some direction on specifically the planning board because of its critical
crucial.
role.
I'm sorry, go ahead. At this point, what I'm saying, I'm good. We absolutely need an attendance policy, for sure. A quasi-judicial board, and that's the point I'm making. So when we get applications up here as recommendations, then we got to do something differently than rubber stamping. Because if they don't know the requirement or what they're impacting, the number is, I don't see decreasing that as the answer to addressing that. I hear you. I do hear you that what it's impacting, but I just don't think that's the solution in and of itself.
I think, again, Ms. West is looking for direction because it is such a crucial board that we need to give some idea of how this should go forward or not.
Well, what I would make a recommendation is if we get a couple of alternatives, alternates for that to help try to backfill those individuals. And from what I heard, you were saying that some of the individuals may have had illnesses that caused them to not make the meeting, that didn't meet quorum. So I just couldn't see from that regard to be able to just start making a reduction if it just was pending on illnesses as opposed to, just the board has been working for how many ever years, but I think we need to keep a better a roll call or whatever absentee list and understanding to know how these meetings are making quorum. And like we talked about earlier, making a policy that if they miss these meetings, there's a process to where they either get suspended or removed, but we have alternates that be able to fill those spots when these people become ill or just don't participate.
Can I ask a question, please? So therefore, is the direction that we kind of keep the policy as it is and try to develop alternatives to increase the attendance
To
at this
get
point?
some people to be on deck to just have, that, I mean, that was just mine. I don't know what the rest of the commission would think, but that's just my recommendation.
Commissioner Jones, I gave the recommendation of, we need an attendance policy. But let me say this, this is how my mind is thinking, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. They're a quasi-judicial board. They need to review these items that come before them. Commissioner Jones brought out some good points with one of the items we approved tonight, because what I hear is, from a legal perspective, if they present this stuff and we're moving and changing, land and doing all those things, then truthfully, what is needed other than a check mark on a checklist? And that's what I'm really a little frustrated with, because by the time it gets to us, we're told, legally, they can do what they want with the property, we can do all that, and I know they're vetting. My point is, if that is the case, then I'm digging my heels in, and that's very rare, because I'm definitely open to hearing another alternative, to say that we cannot decrease the board, because I'm looking for them to do work. If we can't do it here, then I need them to do it. And I don't want to, I hope I'm not misstating, but again, I'm not a fan of rubber stamping. I feel like there are times we get things here to make a decision on that our hands are tied because legally they've met the requirement. And at the end of the day, we really just gotta do what we do. I mean, we could vote no, but what I'm hearing is that we really don't have anything to stand on to vote no if a person wants to move land or move it to different areas. And so I need to clear all that up for myself, and that's all I can say at this point.
Okay, so, go ahead. Are you going, Commissioner Jones?
No, I agree with what was said, with the exception of these are volunteer boards, and we're talking about attendance and attendance policy. Life happens, you guys, and people gonna miss. And if you go, give them a nastygram, say, hey, you missed, what you gonna do? Are you gonna attend the meetings or not? I don't think anybody's probably abusing not coming to the meeting. And we already don't have enough people as it is. So I would suggest, my suggestion would be, we'll leave it as it is, encourage better attendance, because you don't want to push people away where we won't be able to fill it. And then it appears that we're recycling people anyway. When you look at it now, a new recruiting effort should be done, and because we have the same people on the boards, and so we're not getting fresh eyes and fresh ideas. So therefore, as this board change, this governing board change, that one should as well. Or we're not really changing.
And that's what I was suggesting.
They're doing the same thing. They're approving, and to get to us, all we can do is approve, because we're relying on them solely to bring fresh information, correct information, accurate information to us. And then maybe we'll feel better about giving the stamp of approval when that happens.
I agree. That's why I stated bring it so we can address, because there's policy that needs to be addressed. So I wholeheartedly agree. That's why I wanted us to address it as a whole, because there are more layers than just the number of members. There are things that we still have to address as a whole with regards to, even with the mayor and her agreement with some of the things that she said, it still needs to be addressed.
So with all that said,
Leave it the same.
This is what I heard.
leave things the way they are for the time being and have a workshop?
Yes. Can we add that to the work?
Yes. I'm going to ask, I'm going to have you come on, Mrs. Kitchens. I'm sorry. It's gone on a little bit. Come on up, Mrs. Kitchens. I knew you, I have your card. I knew you were coming up.
Allegra Kitchens, Palatka, Florida. I have been actively involved in the planning board for the past 23 years. I got involved with it in 2003 when something went on that I was unaware of until almost the last minute. Since then, I have watched it very closely. I've spoken out at meetings, I've appeared at meetings, I've been asked to be on the planning board. So far, I've resisted. I changed my mind, haven't decided yet. However, there's an old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This planning board has 9 members. The particular problem is one member whose name will go unmentioned. You all know him. He's been frightfully ill since probably October. He can't do his job at the radio station. He's had heart attacks, surgery, you name it. He's seriously ill. He probably should have gone ahead and resigned, but he hasn't. I know of one meeting last year that I attended every one of them except maybe 1 or 2. I came to the meeting fully prepared to be there for 6 hours, and thankfully there was not a quorum. Everybody was relieved. We went home. Then the planning board met the next time. I don't know of very many things in the past 23 years when there has not been a quorum, but if you have 9 members and you can only get 5 to attend, you have a quorum. Do percentage-wise. If you have 9 members and you have 5 to attend, you've got 5 out of 9. If you have 5 and you get the same percentage of those that attended at the 9, you probably are going to have a quorum. Leave the planning board as it, and by the way, for the record, I'm on the Board of Zoning Appeals. I'm very happy. We haven't met in years, but we're there if the public ever needs us. I'm on this Charter Review Committee, which just ended, 12 members. I'm on the Bond Oversight Committee for the school district, 12 members. We've all worked very well. The Charter Review Committee works like a well-oiled machine, as does the Bond Oversight Committee for the school district. This works. I don't care what they do in other cities this size. We're Palatka. We want to be unique. We don't want to be like other cities. If we're like every other city, why would anybody come to Palatka? Let's go to St. Augustine. We all look alike. Come to Palatka. We're unique. We like the way we are. If we want to be like another city, we're going to move to another city. So leave the planning board as it is. But I do agree with the absentee thing. As it is right now, when people are absent, they usually call in, and the chairman will say, so-and-so called in. They're sick. They have surgery. They're out of town. Table this tonight, do not pass it. Have it come back with only the absence policy. 3 unexcused absences. There's no reason why somebody can't say, well, no, or somebody, well, my mama's sick, she's in the hospital. An excused absence is fine. On the the board of, the zoning, not zoning appeals, what was it? Anyway, forgot what it was. Anyway, I was on another board, and you had to have, it's this one the magistrate does now, I was on the Codes Enforcement Board for many years. And you had to have 3 unexcused absences, you were out. But there's no reason why somebody can't call and say, hey, I'm sick, or my mama's sick, or something. You got the excused absence, no problem. If it's unexcused, if they missed 3 meetings with no excuse at all, then get them off the board. But people, you almost have to hold a gun to people's head to get them to come to sign up for these boards. They don't want to do it. I heard Betsy cry and plead with people for 35 minutes at a time and couldn't get them to sign up for a board. But leave this the way it is, table it tonight, do not pass it, and bring it back with the thing for 3 absentees that are unexcused, and the city commission reviews their attendance. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so,
Is the motion on the floor?
no, there's never been a motion on the floor.
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we table this particular item and allow it to come back as a, how do we want to?
Table the item, it will remain the same, and we will, at a workshop setting, discuss all of the boards.
Well, why would we bring it back if we said that we didn't want to change the number? We don't want to reduce the number, so there's no need in bringing anything back. Just leave it as it is and deny this.
I deny this item.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other further public comment? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to commissioners' comments. Commissioner Campbell.
I do want to go on record to say, I know that we get updates, as commissioners with the weekly updates, but some of those updates are not getting to our citizens in the community. And so I know at one point, and I'm not saying that I don't know if it needs to be captured in the, no, because some people don't have access to that kind of stuff. If it needs to be captured in your report, but there was a point that we were actually hearing directly from department heads reporting in a commission meeting so that our citizens would be able, we totally missed that we got a new fire truck. We totally missed that we have our police department who's going out in our community having cotton candy and with our citizens. We're missing those key components. We get it because we get the pictures, we get that, but as far as broadcasting to the community what our departments are actually out doing, we are missing that. And I want us to think of a way to where I don't know if it's a rotation, if it's captured in your staff report, but again, those are things that I feel that our community needs to know. And it may seem small, but of course, we want the people to know that we have cops doing that. We want to see that taxpayers' dollars is going to those particular, different areas throughout the community. So I'll leave that to you to come up with a method of how those kind of things can be brought back to the forefront and making sure that it's disseminated electronically. I know, again, we have the newsletter, but everyone doesn't have that. So just think about the different methods and the different ways of relaying information to our constituents.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones.
To piggyback, I agree with that, and the public information officer that is responsible for getting some of that stuff out, we need different vehicles for it to be out. That's number one. Number two, we had a little overview of what we did in Tallahassee, us that attended. It was great information session. Stuff to be brought back here. I would like to see the public information officer take those trips with us on the legislative stuff so that they could bring it back and highlight what type of work we have been doing, work we put in when we go up there. As well as addressing tonight that we're going to have Putnam County Day next week.
The 19th.
And we all know how those days go when they have, when different municipalities have, they basically show off their city and what's going on. We hired somebody to do that job. I would like somebody representing us to actually showcase us of putting together some type of display, some type of information that says, they talk about what we're doing, why we're so great, why you should visit Palatka. That needs to happen. It shouldn't be a commissioner out there. We shouldn't be doing that. We need someone telling the story like Commissioner Campbell always says. So that's my feedback about that. However, Mayor, I have another piece of information. The Brown Avenue Baileyville annexation, that's what I've been talking about for 3 years, squaring off these boundaries. Here we go again tonight with this piece of property was in the county, but they're going to annex. I want to know what we actually, at our county-city joint meeting, we mentioned that. I would like to have an update on where we are with trying to make those things happen. And I've already addressed Ms. Carter, but I want it presented in a totality. All of us would know what's happening. I really don't care for those one-on-one meetings because you guys may have other input, and once we get the information together, the input is very important. It is very important, and this is the only time that we could speak freely and actually have great communication. So I would like to have that update. And again, when we are having different areas annexed in, we're still excluding the masses.
how can we get it done, folks? And I think together on this dais, we have to keep that push to make this happen. The city, the county is saying, okay, you guys can have these parcels, okay? So why aren't we taking advantage of them? If we're not doing anything else, get the revenue. We talked about if, they take away the homestead exemption, excuse me, if they take away taxes, property taxes, how will we gain revenue? We'll gain revenue by getting water and sewer fees. Okay, so if we capture that, that's revenue that we'll be bringing in. So we should not be dragging our feet on that. We should be pushing and making it happen. That's just a statement, and I would like my colleagues to get on board with this because that's very important. That's it.
Commissioner Barr?
I have no comments.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes, what Commissioner Jones said.
Thank you.
Also, I will say, we went to, today, Commissioner Davis and I went to a deployment ceremony, and it was a very nice event, and we were pleased to be there, and, yeah, and watch some of our Army soldiers go off to be deployed, and proud to be welcomed to it. It was a nice event. Do you have anything? Go ahead.
With the direction that was coming, and I apologize, that came from Commissioner Jones, I would like to make sure that that is a agenda item so that we don't let it slip through the cracks.
And to piggyback off of what Commissioner Jones said, but, you know, we're talking about the inside, and I think the concern was that whenever we annex something that's outside, what's outside, that go beyond the city boundaries, we're annexing those, and that's what the leapfrog was talking about as it relates to that. That's what put strain and stress on our city resources, and that's what we need to be careful about when those things come to the city. But anything internal inside the boundaries, I mean, it should not put a stress and strain. That we may not be getting the funds for it, but the interlocal agreement kind of helps in that regard. So that's just my matter.
Any motion to adjourn?
So be moved.
Thank you.